What if I told you that the future isn't just an abstract concept, but something that can be seen, felt, and even warned about? What if the events of one year, 2025, would ripple through the lives of everyone on Earth, shaping the course of humanity? This isn't a story of speculation or imagination. It's the account of Emily, a woman whose near-death experience took her into the presence of God and revealed a divine message about the year 2025. What she saw, what she heard, and what she brought back with her is a call to action for us all. Her story isn't just about her survival, it's about what comes next for all of us. If you've ever wondered about the spiritual forces shaping our world, or felt that the times we're living in are building towards something bigger, Emily's experience may be exactly what you need to hear. Emily wasn't a theologian, a prophet, or someone who spent her life looking for signs of the supernatural. She was a wife, a mother, and a woman living her life like so many others, balancing family, work, and the constant demands of the modern world. Her faith was a quiet, constant presence in her life, but it wasn't something she often thought deeply about. God, to her, was more of a comforting background presence than an active force in her daily decisions. All of that changed one fateful afternoon. On what seemed like an ordinary day, Emily was involved in a terrible car accident. The impact was sudden and severe, leaving her body broken and unresponsive. As paramedics worked to revive her, Emily found herself pulled into a realm far beyond the physical. What she experienced there would not only change her life, but compel her to deliver a message about the spiritual challenges and opportunities awaiting us in 2025. This story isn't just about Emily's encounter with the divine, it's about all of us, about the choices we're making now and the consequences they'll bring. What Emily saw wasn't just a warning, it was an invitation to rise above the fear and division that threatened to consume us, and to embrace the hope and unity that God is calling us toward. The day began like so many others for Emily. She dropped her kids off at school, ran a few errands, and started heading home. Her thoughts were preoccupied with to-do lists and the usual concerns of daily life. It was a sunny day, and everything seemed perfectly ordinary. Until in an instant, it wasn't. Emily doesn't remember much about the accident itself. One moment she was driving, and the next there was a blur of screeching tires, shattering glass, and the sudden crushing force of impact. The car that struck her had veered into her lane without warning, leaving her no time to react. Witnesses later described the scene as devastating. Paramedics arrived quickly, but Emily's condition was critical. For several minutes, her heart had stopped. But while her body lay lifeless, Emily's soul was more alive than it had ever been. She would later describe this moment as stepping out of her physical body and into a place that defied earthly understanding. It was as if she had been pulled out of time and space entirely, into a realm that was more real, more vibrant, and more meaningful than anything she had ever experienced. Emily described the transition as stepping from one world into another. At first, there was darkness, a comforting, enveloping stillness that felt more like peace than fear. Then came the light. It wasn't harsh or blinding, but warm, golden, and alive. She felt it wrapping around her like a blanket, filling her with a love so pure and overwhelming that she began to weep. In this place, there was no sense of time. Moments stretched into eternity, and yet everything seemed to happen all at once. Emily felt weightless, unburdened by the limitations of her physical body. It was as if she had stepped into the very heart of life itself. As she stood in the light, Emily became aware of a presence, a being so powerful and awe-inspiring that she instantly knew she was in the presence of God. She couldn't see him in the way we see each other, but she felt him in every fiber of her being. His love was tangible, a force that seemed to radiate through every particle of existence. It wasn't just love for her, it was love for everyone, for all of creation. When God spoke, it wasn't with words as we know them. It was as though his voice resonated directly within her soul, bypassing the need for language altogether. His first words to her were filled with love and reassurance. "You are loved, you are known, you are mine." But as Emily absorbed the weight of his love, she also felt the gravity of his message. "You are being sent back," he told her. "The world is at a crossroads. The choices humanity makes now will shape the future. 2025 will be a turning point." Emily was overwhelmed. She asked God what he meant, and in response, he showed her a vision. It wasn't a single linear narrative, but a series of images and impressions that carried profound meaning. Each one revealed a piece of what was to come. She saw the earth trembling under the weight of its own choices. There were natural disasters, hurricanes, earthquakes, and floods that tore through cities, leaving devastation in their wake. Political unrest and social divisions spread like wildfire, fueled by fear and mistrust. Economies faltered, and the systems humanity had built to sustain itself began to crumble. Yet even in the midst of this chaos, there was hope. God revealed that the shaking of the world wasn't punishment, it was a wake-up call. "I am calling my people back to me," he told her. The trials ahead were not meant to destroy, but to awaken, to strip away the distractions and idols that had taken humanity's focus away from him. Emily understood that 2025 would be a pivotal year, a moment when humanity would face a choice: to continue down a path of fear, division, and self-reliance, or to turn back to God in humility and faith. Amid the chaos, Emily saw glimpses of light. These weren't just physical lights, but spiritual ones, individuals, families, and communities who stood firm in their faith. They were united not by race, politics, or personal gain, but by their shared commitment to God's truth and love. Their light began to spread, offering hope and guidance to those around them. Emily realized that these were the people God was calling to lead the way, to be beacons of hope in the darkness. But there was also a warning. God showed Emily that darkness would rise alongside the light. False prophets and deceptive ideologies would spread confusion, leading many astray. Fear would tempt people to abandon their faith, to seek security in the temporary comforts of the world rather than in God's eternal promises. "Cling to my word," he told her. "It will be your anchor." One of the most powerful impressions Emily received was about the importance of unity. God made it clear that the divisions plaguing humanity, political, racial, religious, would only deepen if left unchecked. But he also showed her that unity was possible. "My people must come together," he said, "in love, in forgiveness, in humility." Emily saw that the church would play a critical role in the years to come. Believers were being called to rise above the petty differences that so often divide them, and to stand united as a force for good in the world. This wouldn't be easy. It would require courage, sacrifice, and a willingness to put others before themselves. But it was essential. God also impressed upon Emily the need for preparation. This wasn't just about stocking up on supplies or building physical defenses. It was about preparing hearts and minds for the spiritual challenges ahead. Believers needed to deepen their relationship with God, to root themselves in His Word, and to develop the discernment needed to navigate the deception that would arise. Before Emily was sent back, God gave her one final instruction. Tell them to prepare, to trust me, and to stand firm. With those words, the light began to fade, and Emily felt herself being pulled back into her broken body. The weightlessness and peace of God's presence were replaced by the heaviness of pain and the chaos of the hospital room. But her heart was forever changed. When she opened her eyes, the medical staff was astonished. Emily had been lifeless for several minutes, yet here she was, alive and awake. As she began her recovery, the vision burned within her. She knew she had been given a mission, and she couldn't keep it to herself, even if it meant facing skepticism or ridicule. Emily's experience left her with an unshakable conviction that the trials ahead are not the end. They are a beginning. The challenges of 2025 will test humanity in ways we can't fully comprehend, but they will also bring opportunities for growth, unity, and faith. The shaking of the world is a call to awaken, to strip away the distractions and divisions that keep us from living fully in God's love. Her message is clear. We must prepare not out of fear, but out of trust in God's plan. We must strengthen our faith, unite as believers, and stand firm in the face of deception. The light that Emily saw, the light that shines through those who follow God, has the power to overcome the darkness, but it requires action. It requires us to choose love over fear, truth over lies, and unity over division. Emily's story isn't just a warning, it's an invitation. It's a call to reflect on your own life, your choices, and your relationship with God. Will you prepare your heart? Will you stand firm in your faith and be a light for others in the days to come? This message isn't just for a select few, it's for all of us. The year 2025 will challenge humanity in ways we can't fully understand yet, but it will also bring opportunities for incredible growth, unity, and faith. Share this story with someone who needs hope, and let's face the future with courage, faith, and trust in the God who is always with us. Together, we can rise to the challenge and step into the days ahead with purpose and peace,